Welcome and thanks for joining us. My name's Kevin Linsell and I'll be joining a little bit later with my colleague Tim Naish, and we're talking a little bit about today around the services we offer at IJYI and some of our work on remote controlled uncrewed surface vessels. This was an organisation called Seekit, who are local here in Essex, and we've got some quite interesting, exciting things that they've been doing. But before we get started on that, just a little bit of background on ourselves. So who are IJYI? So we were formed in 2014 by two software architects, and the mission, as you can see there on the screen, was this grand sort of title of change the perception of software delivery and help our clients unlock possibilities through awesome technology. A couple of key bits there. The first bit is that perception element of it. If we go back to the sort of 2014 time era, software projects often got a bad rap. They were late, they didn't deliver, they over budget, etc. So it was very much about changing that focus and that perception. And it was also to be software delivery rather than software development. So it's about delivery of that software to the business, to the end users. And of course, awesome technology. What we're trying to work through and what we're trying to deliver is projects that are fun, projects that are engaging, and projects that deliver real possibilities to a business. And you'll see a little bit of that with the case study that we'll talk through. We're based up in Ipswich and Suffolk and work with a wide range of customers. A little bit more on those in a moment. And we have a team very much of Microsoft specialists, and we focus across a range of technologies, but very much at that forefront of the Microsoft capabilities across data, enterprise integration, application delivery, and some data and application support. And we hold a range of Microsoft Gold and Silver badges as well for our credit. So the services that we offer, so key area, data and business intelligence. So this has been a real growth area for us over the last few years, enabling businesses to make those business decisions informed by data. We've all heard through the recent or the COVID briefings around letting science lead the decisions. This is effectively letting that data, that business intelligence, allowing those decisions to be driven to the end business users and to those that really need to make those informed, actionable, intelligent decisions based on analysis, visualizations, and other abstractions of data from multiple sources. Software delivery. So this was our foundation, our bread and butter. So it's about taking it from software development into software delivery, as I mentioned. And it's about that right from that real early ideology phase, what we call an inception workshop, right through into the development, the QA and test, potentially migrating that over onto a cloud platform. And of course, over on the right here, you can see that data and application support. These environments, be it this software or be it the data and business intelligence, can be quite complex and quite new for organizations. So we also offer a data and application support service that we provide to many customers across second, third line support, office hours, as well as 24/7. As I mentioned, a wide range of customers. Some of these, quite local across the east of England. Organisations like, Ipswich Building Society and Plant Parts, for example, Inform Direct, Suffolk County Council, Praxis 42. But also some wider, national organisations and larger that you can see there as well. And you won't see a particular sector type focus in that there. What we have is very much some of these technologies, because we're applying to the business users. We see that the business is underpinning a lot of this intelligence and a lot of these software delivery focuses. So therefore we have quite a broad customer range, but certainly public sector, scale ups, manufacturing are real, and financial services are real strong areas for us. So that brings us onto our Seekit case study, and I'll just sort of gear it up a little bit now for a minute or so before passing over to Tim to get into some of the detail. So Seekit, so they're based in Tolsbury, Essex, so not too far from us up in Suffolk, and they're actually now using one of the marine facilities up in Suffolk as well for some of the deployment of their latest generation of their vessels. And they provide fairly high technology solutions for what is remote controlled boat, effectively, in in layman's terms. So they won the Shell X Prize, effectively, to build an autonomous ship that could operate over the horizon. So what we mean here is by satellite type technology, but you also need to be to a degree autonomous, so it can make decisions of its own, because obviously you've got a lag and a delay with things like satellite type area from a very remote operator. Effectively, think of someone sat in a room, not dissimilar to how we're all used to on Teams type sessions, actually controlling this vessel. And effectively, you've got a range of use cases, as you can see on there, from some of the logistics and security and monitoring, through to one that's quite prominent here in the in the east of England, is that survey of ocean floors and marine inspection. With the growth of all the offshore wind farms and some of the tidal activities that are going on as well. That's quite a quite a good use case. So CKIT collaborated with a range of industry partners to produce this remote controlled X-class vessel, and we were involved in that project from early on around some of the software and the dashboards and the interfaces that are required. And I'll pass over to Tim now, who's going to talk through in a little bit more detail around the project, show a few more of the images and some extra insight. Thanks, Tim. Over to you.
Hi there. So the brief of this project was to design, build and test a new manual control panel dashboard capable of interacting with the onboard system via a satellite link, and that was no matter where the boat was on the planet. So yeah, quite an interesting project. And it also needed to allow control of the vessel to be handed off between pilots. It's kind of I guess an aspiration of kind of follow the sun, so allowing the vessel to operate in a kind of 24/7 environment. They wanted to be able to allow the control system to be handed off between people in different locations around the planet. We're also working alongside a partner organisation who were building some new onboard systems as well. So it was a little bit of a kind of moving target in that they were developing the kind of hardware that runs on the ship at the same time as we were developing the software to control it. And security was a definite priority. Obviously, you've got a kind of a remote control boat, which is quite heavy. If that was to be compromised in any way, then it would be quite serious. It could disrupt shipping lanes. It could do all sorts of damage. So security was a real priority from the start. Next slide, please, Kev. So yeah, the process that we used, we're big fans of Agile. We tend to use the Scrum methodology. And that involves us collaborating really closely with our partners, so CKIT in this case. And we adopted a rapid prototyping approach as this was kind of a new project. It was research and development, sort of going into productionization. So that generally involves daily update calls or stand-ups, as we call them, and real ongoing dialogues with regular demos. To ensure that progress is accurately tracked and the customer is involved at every stage. So collaboration is a real key to success of any projects, and we always try and get a senior stakeholder involved in all our meetings, which we found that our customers find really refreshing. There's no kind of ta-da at the end of it, that the customer is involved at every stage, and that cuts down on waste as well, because it means that you can pick up things that aren't quite right early on and fix them. Next slide, please, Kev. So the solution. So we built a solution for CKIT using .NET backend with Angular front end. So it runs it within a browser, and it's hosted within the secure CKIT control room. It's fully remote control for CKIT mission control. So all common functions within the boat are possible to control. So that includes sort of setting the course, the lighting, cameras, and the engines themselves. I mean, that's just a brief kind of list of things, but there's all sorts of different switches that are available, and that's all customizable as well as the boat evolves. More and more things can be added and customized within the control panel itself. So it's also got a launch system and retrieval system on the board for an autonomous unmanned vehicle, which is effectively, you can see in the picture there, it's a little kind of submarine. It looks a bit like a torpedo, but the vessel has a little conveyor belt that can be activated, and a little kind of gate at the back which can be opened, and via the control panel you can deploy this submarine to sort of off the back of the ship, a bit like, I guess, Thunderbirds. It can then be used to survey underneath the ocean, so underwater surveys, and then in a kind of a reverse of deploying it, you can sort of point the submarine at the vessel and drive towards it, and the conveyor belt will kind of pick up the UAV and store it back on the vessel. So that's really neat, and makes it a really kind of versatile solution for all sorts of things. So as I mentioned, it's very customizable and expandable, the control system that we've created, and Seekit intend on continuing to build on that. And it's also cloud ready. The technologies that we chose, although initially they were deployed within the secure control room, the intention was that in the future they would deploy into a cloud environment as well, which yeah, was really good to have that base to build upon. Next slide, please, Kev. So the outcome. This project was delivered within a 3-month deadline that was set, and there were successful sea trials in late July 2020, so right in the middle of kind of a COVID situation. I guess it helps that it's completely unmanned. Yeah, as you can see on that picture on the right, that was during the sea trials. It's a lot smaller than it looks. I think that vessel in the background is quite a long way away. But yeah, following its departure from Plymouth in late July 2020, they spent 22 days completing an offshore survey operations, and returned to Plymouth on the 14th of August. So during the time, the USV was remotely controlled around the clock from Seekit's remote operation control centre in Essex, and completed the mapping of over 1,000 square kilometres of ocean floor off the European continental shelf that had never been mapped before. It was actually featured on BBC News as a showcase for innovation and cutting edge green technology. And here's a quote from Ashley Skeet, who's the Director of Operations at Seekit. So after meeting the EG team for the first time and discussing our future plans, it quickly became clear that they were a natural choice to help us produce the command and control system for ships of the future. We were particularly impressed by the ease of communication and ongoing interaction throughout the project, and their willingness to go above and beyond when required. We're delighted to continue to work closely with the EG team as we continue further capabilities, that continue to add further capabilities to our vessel. So a really glowing endorsement there, which was really great to see, and it was great to be involved in such an exciting project, and certainly something a lot different to what we're used to working with. Next slide, please, Kev. So I hope that's been interesting to hear about this rather unique project. Certainly you can visit Seekit on Twitter and see what they've been up to. Certainly they seem to be going from strength to strength, which is really great. If you're interested to learn more about us, we'd love to have a conversation with you. Please do get in touch at sales@eg.com or give us a ring on 01473 526 774. Thanks very much again for your time today.